Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast, and welcome to this special European episode. The road to Athens starts now. So on this episode, what we're going to do, we're going to have a real in-depth look at Group E, what it has in store, who are the teams that we're going to be playing, who are their best players, who are the players that we need to watch out for. We'll have a look at their league form. We'll have a look at some of their patterns of play. We'll have a look at their style on how they play as well. So we're just going to have a real good look at what we've got to come. So I think it would be, a good episode for us all to get a bit of a better understanding of what Group E has in store for us. So, just touching on the draw, we're in Group E. We've got Alkmaar, Legia Warsaw, and Zrinjski from Bosnia, who they are a team to find any information on is pretty obscure. But, I think we've really got to embrace this European group. I think it is a tough group. I think if I look at the group there, the three teams that are in our group, I'd say they're in phases. Alkmaar, for me, are the strongest team. Then you're going with Legia Warsaw, and then you're going with Zrinjski. I think they're probably the worst team in this group. And, I'm really looking forward to it. I think, in our minds, we've probably still got the Liverpool result, but I think we've got this bounce back ability. We beat Palace with 3 wins out of 2. Everything's looking, better, isn't it? So we have 3 wins, 2 losses. The picture starts to look a lot better. And then we're straight on in there, aren't we? We're away to Legia Warsaw. Then we're at home to Zrinjski. We've got 2 games against Alkmaar. And then we've got Legia. And then we finish off in December with Zrinjski. So it's going to be coming thick and fast. The fixtures are going to be coming thick and fast. So I'll share the screen with you. And you can see our group, what we've got in store. So we're in Group E. I think looks like there is a group of death. That Fenerbahce group looks pretty difficult. But yeah, I think you'll be looking at it thinking Villa should be able to come through our group pretty. I'd like to say comfortably, but like I say, there are some tough teams in it, and we'll get into it right now. But Aston Villa are the favourites for the Europa Conference League. We have a 22% chance of winning it, 35% chance of making the final, 50% chance of making the semi-final. And then you've got Fenerbahce, Eintracht Frankfurt, Fiorentina, Ghent, Lille, Besiktas, Zagreb. And you will see some teams in blue who aren't in the Europa Conference League. That's because how it's going to work is the winner of the group goes straight into the knockout phases of this competition. The team that finishes second in their group will play a playoff game with third-place teams from the Europa League. So the teams that finish third in their group in the Europa League get put into the Conference League to play a playoff game from the teams that finish second in the Europa Conference League group. So you will see some added teams potentially coming into the Europa Conference League, maybe a Brighton, maybe an Ajax, a Marseille, a Sporting. But you would imagine that those teams to finish third in their group would be, they'd have to have an absolute shocker in their groups. So we're going to have a bit of a breakdown now. We're going to have a look at the teams that we're going to be coming up against, a little bit of, info on those teams, and we'll have a look at their best players, and we'll have a look at some slides from their recent games as well. So up first, we're going to go with AZ Alkmaar, founded in 1967. They play at the AFAS Stadion, which holds 17,023. They've only been there recently. I think it was in and around 2008 that they moved into that stadium. It's a beautiful looking stadium. I really like the look of this. It's a dome stadium without a roof, and I just really like the look of it. I like the orange on the outside. Parking looks decent. Parking looks all right around the stadium. But no, it's a nice stadium. I really like the look of it. sometimes those bowl stadiums lack character, but I think this has a bit of character about it. I like the outside, and I sort of like that sort of white sort of whatever it's called, steel around the top of it as well. So I do like that sort of that stadium. To be fair, it's nice. They're playing the Eredivisie. They've won the league title twice in 1980 to 81 and 2008 2009. Their best phase in Europe was when they lost to Ipswich in the UEFA Cup final, and their head coach is Pascal Janssen. This is AZ Alkmaar's style of play. They're very strong at finishing and scoring chances, creating chances and using through balls, coming back from losing positions. They're strong, creating, scoring chances, counter-attacks and attacking set pieces. Their weakness is avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, weak at aerial duels. They like to play short passes, playing in their own half, and a consistent first 11. So I think you kind of you get that from some Dutch teams, that real good passing style of play. They are a good side. They do like to play football, and I think this will be a big challenge for Aston Villa, home and away. This, for me, if we can get a positive result and a draw away, or we can get two positive results in this game, I think we will go and top the group. This is, for me, is the most important two-legged tie in the group. So, as you can see, AZ Alkmaar's current form is very, very good. They haven't lost, so you can see there that they're a decent side. If we have a little look at their playing style, and for me, some of the players to look out for then. So their top players are Pavlidis up top, who is their striker. Sugawara is their right back. And they've also got a really tricky winger in there as well. So if we go to their matches and have a look at their last game, and we'll have a look at their style. So their formation that they play is a 4-2-3-1. Their right-hand side, for me, is their strongest area. Sugawara loves to bomb forward, so they've kind of got a similar sort of defensive shape to how we play. Sugawara bombs forward. They make a 3 at the back then. Poku is a very tricky winger. And Pavlidis up top is quite a prolific striker, to be fair. If we have a look at him so far this season, we'll have a look at the top players. So Pavlidis, so far, he's got a 71 attacking rating. He has also got quite a few goals this season as well. So he has played 3 games so far in the Eredivisie, and he's scored 5 goals. So he is a striker that we're going to have to keep an eye on. We'll go back and have a look at their last game then. So we'll have a look when they played Vitesse. They beat them 2-0. And you can see here from their average positions that number 2 is Sugawara, their right back. And you can see that he really likes to bomb forward. They've got that structure of shape with their sort of holding 2 midfielders. And they're making up their attacking outlet of a 3-2. And it kind of does become a 4-1 when they're attacking as well. So they're an attacking team. They're going to look to pose problems. If we have a look at from their set pieces, they like to sort of congest and get territorial. You can see the 3 players that are on the edge of the box. They've got bodies going forward as well. So they really look to sort of camp you in on a corner and a set piece. This shows their style as well. So you've got their defenders, midfielders, and then you've got that Poku out wide, as you can see at the far end of the screen. They're looking to get balls forward, looking to get runners in behind. And when they do have possession, they really do like to get players forward. Again, you can see another set piece, the similar sort of shape of the players sort of in and around the edge of the box territorially. And they're trying to get a little cheeky overload out wide as well. Poku, they look to get Poku on the ball in space. They want to see him running on and really getting in 1v1 areas, and he's quite a live wire for them. Again, you've got Poku on the ball driving forward. One area where I do think that they are very, very vulnerable is when Sugawara goes forward. You can see here, Sugawara is looking to try and get back, and they pose them all sorts of problems. But the link-up play with their striker is very, very dangerous. He's very clinical, but they also are very good tactically. As you can see here, they employ a similar sort of tactic to what Villa do when we're defending. When we don't have the ball, they make up a sort of a 6 and a 3 blocking. So tactically, they are very, very astute, but they are quite clinical, quite deadly going forward. And they want to get runners in behind. They want to stretch the opposition teams. So I think it is going to be a very, very difficult game when we do play them. And I do think they've got some good players as well. They've also got a little cheeky player in their team. If we go back to the lineups and have a look at their bench, they've got Mark van Bommel's son who plays for them. And his name is Ruben van Bommel. So Ruben van Bommel is the son of Mark van Bommel. And they have also got in midfield Jordi Classy, who also is their captain. And he's quite a tidy player as well. So they've got a good team. And I think, like I say, this is the team for me who would pose us the most problems in our group. So next up, in our group, we have Legia Warsaw, who are sort of like Polish top team. They have won the league 15 times. They've won the Polish Cup, a record-breaking 20 times. They are 5 times Super Cup Polish champions. And they currently play at now this stadium, I really like this stadium as well. It's known as the Polish Army Stadium, the Polish Warsaw Polskiego Stadium. They have never been relegated. They were formed in 1916 during the military operations of World War I on the Eastern Front as the main football clubs of the Polish legions. Their best European sort of accolade was making the European Cup semi-final in 1969. But the one thing that we have got to be prepared for is this. Their atmosphere is absolutely incredible. The love of fire in the home end, the love of tifo, and it is going to be very, very intimidating indeed for our players. So we have to be prepared for the hostile, ferocious atmosphere, probably getting in there on the coach as well. It's going to be very, very hostile. And it's not an arena to buckle under pressure. So we've really got to be prepared for this. We've also got to be prepared for their hostile fans as well. One thing about AZ Alkmaar as well is we've got to be prepared for their hostile fans. We saw what they were like with the West Ham fans as well. But this stadium is going to be very, very hostile. So it's something that we've really got to watch out for and be prepared for. So let's have a little look then at Legia Warsaw. So their form so far this season, again, is very, very good. They currently sit top of their league, and they have a brilliant home form record. They're top of the league, level on points. Their home form is so far impeccable. They've won every single game at home in the league, and their away form, I think they've only played one game in the league anyway, so they've drew that game. If we have a little look at who their top players are, it's Josu in the middle, who is sort of like a number 10 attacking midfielder. He's their best player. They look to get everything going through him as well. If we have a look at their last game, which they won 3-1, and their lineup looked like this. They are pretty much playing with a 5 at the back. You can see Josu had an 8.4 rating in that game, and they really do look to take everything going through him as well. If we have a little look at how they played in this game, have a look at their lineups and their average positions. You can see sort of a 5 at the back, pretty decent in the middle, and they really like to get Josu on the ball as well. If we go back and have a look at their top players, we'll have a little look at Josu. So far this season, he has got a SOFA score rating of 7.86. He's played 5 matches. He's scored 3 goals, and his passing accuracy is at 87% per game. So they're a decent team. I think we should be looking to beat them on both legs, to be fair. And yeah, I think we should be looking to beat these, to be fair. I think they're a decent team, but I think we've got to be rocking up there and playing our style. They absolutely love a long ball. So their long balls are trying to stretch the opposition. They scored from this, but they also can't defend against the long ball either. So for me, Ollie Watkins, Moussa Diaby, Leon Bailey, stretching, pace, balls over the top, looking to stretch these because I think they are decent, but we're a far superior team to these. Again, you can see balls over the top. They get bodies forward. This was a shot from Josu. It was sort of a free kick out wide, and he managed to score this goal. Defending, they are a little bit erratic when balls are into the box. That sort of allow runners behind them as well. So they're not the best at defending set pieces, but they put balls into the box. They look to stretch the opposition. So I think it will be a difficult game, especially that away game in that stadium. It's going to be very, very difficult. So yeah, Legia Warsaw away from home for me. That's our first game in this competition. I'd be looking for us to try and come away with 3 points, 110%. And then this is a team which, if you're trying to get any information on, it is neon impossible. Zrinjski, formed in 1905. Now, I'm going to have to try and study this here. So they play at the Stadion pod Bijlemi Brzojan Stadium. This is their stadium. Very, very small in a quaint setting, sort of looking to a mountain from afar. And if I'm being honest, if I'm trying to get any information on this club, I can't. So this is their current form. Their lineup in this game looked like this: 4-3-3. There's not a player that I think I can do any research on. I can't really see anything that's saying that their best player is their striker, Nemanja Bilbija. If I can try and get some stats on him. So far this season, he's played 1 game, scored no goals. And apart from that, standings in the league so far, they are currently 7th. They've played 2 games. They've got 6 points. So they have won both their games in the league, but unfortunately, to get any info on them is quite difficult. So they beat Lask to qualify. So they're lined up to qualify for this. Again, you just can't get no average positions. Stats, they were under pressure for a bit of it, but they managed to come through. So that's a team that I think Aston Villa should really be looking to beat. But apart from that, to get any info, like I say, is very, very difficult. So I just thought I'd just bring you some info, a little bit of what I can find about the group and the opposition. We'll try and go into a little bit more detail with playing styles on how they're playing when we do the predicted lineups for this game. But like I say, really, really excited. Can't wait for it. We're in a pretty difficult group, to be fair. It's going to pose different problems, and I think it'll be nice to see how we can react and how we can do in this group as well. So, I can't wait for it. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to go to 1 or 2 of them. And yeah, enjoy it. Thought I'd bring you a little bit of something a bit different. change the vibe from the negative vibe from the Liverpool game anyway. So hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed a bit of history on how they're going to be playing, etc. You can go now and have a look on who you've got to look out for. But yeah, thank you, everybody. Up the Villa.